that says, please wait for the host to start this webinar.
Okay. How about now? Try now.
There it is.
Awesome. We are live. I'm taking my glasses off. I look crazy.
Hey, are we going to be able to do screen shares?
That's a nice tie. Yeah, I'm making you guys panelists, so I'm really bad at Zoom. I probably need to get better at that. Hey, guys. Look at you.
Howdy.
Wow, the best looking
Move.
our business.
What's up, man?
What up?
Dude, I said you
guys are way too.
I saw
you guys
your
are way too dressed up.
I saw your challenge, man.
Oh, and you
Yeah,
need
man,
to go
it's been
put out a tie, brother.
Man, you guys are way too dressed up. I look like I haven't shaved in 6 years. Need a haircut, you know, it's all that shit. Things are rough.
I can do a side spike now. Remember the side spikes from back in the day?
Side spike. That was the old days. There's Velcro. He sleeps
Velcro,
like that.
what's up, man?
Yeah. Velcro sleeps with a pocket square.
Velcro, you're not supposed to sleep. You're not supposed to be in your pajamas, bud.
Yeah, that's my pajama.
What's that?
Side? Tell me about the side swipe.
All right, we got. There's Sandy. Hey, Sandy.
How you guys doing?
How are you doing? Hey, what do you think about Owen being so underdressed for this? How do you feel about that?
I think Owen looks perfect.
He does.
And I think he looks like Owen. And and he really did an awesome job doing 10 push-ups.
You did
Yeah,
10?
no. So March 1st, my son and I decided to start the 30-day push-up challenge. And so then yesterday I got challenged by Jason Garacevich, however you say his last name, to do 10 push-ups. So I waited till my last set, which called for 10 push-ups, and then I taped it, and so it was pretty funny. So yeah, we've been holed up inside for too long.
Right? I'm going to pull my shades and turn on the light instead and get something to drink.
Okay.
I'm telling you, man, they're going viral, dude.
Okay, so let me show you guys the worst possible scenario that could ever happen in a situation like we're going through. You know, I just moved in right to my house, so that right there was my liquor shelf with all my. Yeah, it literally collapsed like 2 hours ago in the middle of a webinar.
Oh no!
Ah, dude.
Like $1,000 worth of liquor gone. Just
Good.
like,
That's a sign of God.
That would have got you.
Now what are you gonna do when you're at home, man?
No more drinking.
Dude,
like exercise more.
You gotta smoke weed.
yeah.
I'm gonna make some.
That would have got you through the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Yes. What do they call that stuff in prison? Pruno, I think they call it. I had a salesman. I had a couple salespeople that spent some time in jail, and they told me about Pruno they used to make. I could do that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. Hey, Reed, what's up, man?
No, what's going on?
Hey, buddy, please tell me you're not driving while doing this.
No, I'm parked.
It's an autopilot.
Amen, buddy. Amen. That would be with my luck today. That would be a bad thing. You might crash. All right, cool. So
Keep the danger level up.
yeah, exactly. So we already have some awesome friends joining. So we've got Javier Colombi. Javi is one of the most energetic and just motivating GSMs that I've ever had the luxury of coaching. Just a great guy in New Jersey. Javier, thank you for joining. Greg Dudley. Reed, you work with Greg, don't you?
I have, yes, in the past. I love Greg.
How do you know Greg, man?
Greg, we work together.
Oh, okay. You guys were in a BDC together?
Yeah, he worked for me for, I don't know, almost, was it 3 years?
Awesome. And then we have Tom Agresti here. So Tom Agresti is he's kind of the operations and technology officer for the Dream Motor Group. So Tom, thank you for joining. I'm grateful to have you here, my friend. Tom was just in our Manager to Coach webinar, a mastermind group we did earlier. So Tom, thank you for joining. And by the way, guys, this is an evergreen webinar. So what that means is people are going to be able to access this and use it ongoing. So we're going to continually launch this, and at least as long as it's relevant. And that way, as many dealership executives out there as possible will be able to use the tools that we're providing. So that's pretty exciting stuff. And for all the experts that are part of this webinar, thank you guys so much for doing this. I know that we all have a lot of crazy stuff going on. We've got a lot of dealers to support. So just the fact that you guys are willing to be a part of this, it means the world to me. So let's go ahead and dive in. And that way we can keep this thing, goal is to keep this thing just over an hour. I think it's going to be about an hour and 15 minutes. But let me make the intro. My name is Sean Kelley, the Car Biz Coach, and I help automotive leaders achieve results through people and technology. And the reason for this webinar, this webinar was developed literally from yesterday afternoon until today, but it comes from a culmination of probably over 100 coaching conversations, consultations, and strategy calls that myself and this team of experts that are on this panel in this webinar are going to share with you. We've been helping our dealers. We've been in disaster mode along with our dealers, just trying to help everyone get their arms around the situation. So our goal is to help coach of this webinar is to help coach you through the crisis that's going on, and that's because the one thing that myself and all the panelists or the people on this webinar, the experts, have in common is we really care about the showroom floor and the opportunities that dealerships provide. And we want to make sure that our dealers mitigate any losses possible. And ultimately, we want to make sure that you guys come out of the other side intact, as intact as possible. And and it's funny, I was talking to a couple of these guys yesterday and just kind of revisiting why they care about the car business so much and all the people at the dealerships and the managers and the salespeople and the BT. We have such a good array of experts today. I'm really excited to go over with you what they're going to share with you. But every one of us has this one thing in common. We really care about the dealership. And for me, I was in the Army. I was a special operations sergeant. I got back from 14 months of combat, and I wrecked my car. I did a house I couldn't afford on an arm loan, and of course knocked up my fiance. So that being said, the car business kind of saved me and kept me from having to go back into the Army. And not that I didn't like the Army, but I really loved the car business, and I thrived in this industry. So I want to give back to it, and I've spent pretty much every waking minute of every day helping people from frontline salespeople to dealer principals of multi-rooftop groups while moving. We just moved into this office, got a new home this past weekend. Great time to buy a house, right? So I've been I've been talking to these fine experts that I'm going to share with you guys who they are here in just a second and introduce each of them. And they feel the same way. They love the car business, the people on it, and we want to give you guys some practical and tactical, some tips, tricks, some, dare I call them, best practices. I hate to call something a best practice if it hasn't been proven yet, because this is all new stuff for us, right? For all of us, we're all going through this new challenge together. But from our consultations and our coaching calls, our clients have come up with some pretty good stuff, and we want to continually share these great ideas. And all of us have an expertise in different areas. We've got a BDC expert here. We've got a finance expert. We've got one of the top sales trainers and best-selling authors on there. We've got one of the top marketing experts here. And we've got one of the top fixed ops marketing gurus on the planet. So we are going to share some things that are helping our clients. And we're going to actually give you guys some tools that you're going to be able to use to hopefully help, again, mitigate your losses. Ultimately, we really want your employees to be able to retain their careers if possible and help the dealers retain their careers. Sorry about that, guys. That was definitely Velcro's ringer. I'm just joking. We want to share some new ideas that will help you guys actually develop revenue, even if your showroom floor is down. We believe that there are ways that you can increase revenue generation with a closed showroom floor, and you can even leverage your sales team to do it, and even compliantly, and we'll talk more about that later. Also, we want to help dealers create clarity. Right now, guys, it's so tough to find clarity, and people just don't know what to do because, again, it's a brand new situation. So we want to help you guys find that clarity and help you align your team and create some contingency plans. Listen, This is uncharted territory. We don't know what's going to work, what isn't, but from our consultations, our coaching convos, we're starting to see some wins. Some dealers are starting to share some success stories, and that's exciting to hear. So we definitely want to share some of those. And again, all of us are experts that have been in the industry for a combined, I'm going to wager, I was kind of figuring that out. I think we've probably got close to 100 years in the industry total. I don't know if I was to add it up, but probably approaching 100 years with our combined time in the auto industry. And we all have some really powerful tools, and we're going to give those to you for free just for joining our webinar. And we don't ask for anything in return. We don't want you to buy anything from us. All we ask is that you allow us to support you, and we're going to give you a way that you can say, hey, here's who I want to reach out to. Here's who helped me on this webinar here. Here's how I'd want to schedule a strategy call with. And we're here to support you. That's all we want in return. So one disclaimer I do want to give you right up front. Nothing in this webinar is legal advice. We do advise you to check your local, state, and federal guidelines prior to implementing anything at your store. We do have some, there's some resources we can share to help point you in the right direction, but there's no legal advice in this. So you keep that in mind as you move forward with anything you're going to do. And Sandy Zanino, who is our HR guru, is going to share some best practices there for you. Okay. Now let me break it down specifically what you're going to get at the end of this webinar. You will receive this today. You're going to get a strategy, an A to Z plan for your sales department to help you generate revenue, even if your showroom floor is closed. And Car Motivators is donating that. We're going to give sales scripts. Salespeople are having a hard time prospecting with what's going on. So we're going to give you some really good scripts that salespeople have been comfortable using that are directly addressing the challenges while also trying to generate business. You can feel good about using the scripts that you're going to get without damaging the brand of your dealership and coming across as an ambulance chaser, so to speak. We're going to actually give you guys a tech tool, a link that you're going to be able to use to upsell F&I products and services. We've got our marketing guru, Herb Anderson there. He's going to be sharing with you a Google My Business. He owns Dealer Talk. He's the founder of Dealer Talk. He's going to be giving you a Google My Business strategy to help you build obligation and awareness. It's a free marketing tool that you can use to, show the community what your dealership's about in this time of crisis. We're going to give you Velco Academy. So he's one of the top sales trainers out there. He's going to be giving you a 4-step process to generate referrals from all clients in service and even training. He's going to give you some free training online to help your sales team develop those relationships with sold customers. And then also Sandy Zanino was kind enough to put together a compliant HR strategy that's going to help you communicate job role changes to your employees. And Sandy, thank you so much for putting that together. And then training. Car Motivators, Car Motivators and Velco Academy have teamed up, and we have created Auto Growth Factory. So it's a training and coaching approach where we work with your frontline sales team and your leadership staff. It's Auto Growth Factory, and basically we're going to give you guys some specific online training on how to set expectations with your managers. And then finally, pay plan. Reed Richards, who is he's a phenom in the BDC world. Reed puts up numbers for the BDCs he coaches. They put up numbers sometimes 3 to 5 times what standard BDCs put up. And he's got a pay plan that he's going to share with you that you can kind of turn some of your sales employees into service employees. And to give you guys a backdrop on all the experts, John Stubblefield, he Car Motivators finance coach and business partner. And John is a finance department guru. He's going to be sharing some best practices about how you can grow finance revenue right out of your service department with every RO opportunity. We got, again, Velco 2 Chief, who's best-selling author, keynote speaker, business consultant, leadership coach, and again, one heck of a sales trainer. And Owen Moon, he's the CEO of Fixed Ops Digital, and he's one of the few people out there that knows how to market to service customers and drive service traffic. Owen his business has grown exponentially fast, and he brings a ton of value to this webinar. And he's got Owen's got he's got a white paper he's going to share with you guys, 7 strategies you can implement right now, steps you can take immediately to grow your service business. And then Herb Anderson, again, founder of Dealer Talk podcast. And Herb also, he's like a marketing consultant. So he's able to analyze marketing and tell you what's working and what isn't. Managing expenses right now, especially around marketing, is a critical department, and you don't want to cancel the wrong thing. That's what Herb's expertise is in. And then Reed Richards, owner of Increase Your Leads and the official Car Motivators BDC coach. He is here as an expert. And then finally, Sandy Zanino. Sandy and I have been friends for a couple of years now. We met on LinkedIn. I think we've shared a stage at a few conferences. Sandy brings so much value on the employee, the benefit and just HR side of things in the car business, much needed in our industry. She's got some very important insights that she's going to share with you today. So our combined knowledge today that we're going to share with you guys and the tools we're giving you should bring you massive value. But first we got to change your mindset. Okay. So let me change your mindset before I pass the microphone on to Sandy. What's on the screen here, by the way, is called the sigmoid curve. Now the sigmoid curve measures success, as you can see on the left, over time, on the bottom. And what the sigmoid curve proves is that the old saying we all know, if you do what you've always done, you get what you've always gotten. This sigmoid curve proves that it's a lie, because this mathematically proves that if you do what you've always done, you'll get less than you've always gotten. And the reason for that is because when the world around you is constantly changing and you keep doing what you've always done, you will get less than you've always gotten. Now, things are changing at an unprecedented rate, right? Clearly, most people don't even know what to expect tomorrow. They don't know what laws are going to change. They don't know what's going to come out from the government. They don't know how their employees are going to react. We don't know what the customers are going to do. But that's the beauty of being a dealership. We have the ability to pivot on the dime if we choose to. All right. And we need to choose to. There's a saying that I like to talk about. I say, he who sits in the middle of the road gets run over. All right. And the biggest enemy we have right now is failure to plan and indecision. It's that simple. Guys, the coronavirus is here. All right. I took this content and I wanted to make sure it was real and relevant and impactful. And I called, so I spent last night up until about midnight. And then this morning I got up about 5 a.m. and I was calling my dealers, talking to my dealers, running them through this content, asking them for their opinions. Here's what everyone agrees with. Everyone agrees that the coronavirus is here to stay, right? Now we have to go back to selling. We have to open our businesses. Trump said the solution can't be, don't perfectly quote me on this, but he said that the solution, the cure, can't be worse than the disease. We're going to have to open for business, man. Customers we're going to face the objections. We're going to have to deal with those things. It's here to stay probably. Okay. So the virus isn't going to be gone in 3 to 6 months, but we're going to be open for business. So we've got to have a plan. We've got to implement and execute it. And we've got to act now, because right now fear is, when there's fear, right? We go into our lizard brain. It's the fight, flight, or freeze. And inaction is the worst action you can take. All right, it's that simple. I want you to write that down. Inaction is the worst action you can take. Right now, fear is paralyzing us. It's stressful, man. It's scary. Okay, we are all in this together. All right, so we're scared together. But not doing anything would be the worst mistake. What can we do, right? So now we've all been. If you've been in the car business more than 5 years, more than 10 years, more than 15, you've definitely been through some down markets. The strategies I'm going to share with you are going to help you even be able to be up in a down market. I've been through, I was a used car manager in 2009. In 2000 and sorry, I skipped a slide. In 2014, 2015, and the market was down in my city, of course, and I was the only store up. So the strategies we're going to share with you guys today are a little bit outside the box thinking. Okay. They're a little bit outside the box thinking, but it's important for you to understand why this is so important, because you've got to come up with new ideas. What you did before isn't going to work. You're going to have to, going back to the sigmoid curve here, you're going to have to make a change now and battle through that change if you want to continue to try to grow your business or even maintain at this point. So what do we know for certain? We know there's going to be some sort of stimulus package. There could be something from the SBA. One of my dealers this morning was telling me how he read the SBA. He might be able to get a small business loan. And if he uses that money to pay salaries, that debt may be forgiven. Could happen. We know that there's going to be some, and there may already be some, Sandy will bring us up to speed on this here in a minute. There may be some big benefit payouts for unemployment, right? These things, we know that this is going to happen. We may not know when. We may not know when our employees are going to get paid. We also know that there's one person that you can count on. You can look right in that mirror and see, imagine your reflection, all right? It's you. You're the only person that you can count on, guys. I'm going to tell you, waiting for someone else to pick up your business and take it where it needs to go for you right now is a mistake. We've got to say, hey, what action am I going to take? What plan am I going to make? What action am I going to take to do it? And knowing that you're the only one that can do it. There's some other guarantees. There's some other things that we know for certain. We know that relationships sell. Okay, we know that relationships sell. We know that that people like to be united around a cause. Right? We know that employee turnover costs your business money, no matter what. We know that you're the only one that can help your business. And we know that this is going to end. The virus is going to end at some point. The whole, stay home order is going to end at some point, and business is going to open up. So when it does, will you be ready, or will you be rebuilding your sales staff at that point, right? That's the question. So again, we're going to help you guys with an action plan. The objective being to retain your staff, give you some outside the box ideas, and cover every department at the dealership. So I was coaching someone yesterday, a GSM, and I asked him, okay, showroom floors shut down. And I've got stores across the gambit, ones that have been shut down for a week. I coach a store that's in quarantine. I've got stores that nothing's happened to them whatsoever yet, and they're really not even feeling much change, but it's coming. So bottom line is this. I asked this question yesterday. If we can't sell cars, what can be sold? So let's just analyze the facts here. We can sell service work. We can sell F&I products. We can sell future sales appointments. If I can't sell you a car today, doesn't mean I can't take care in the future, right? We can sell referral generation, and we can sell a cause, community, teamwork. Another thing, I want to ask, how can we sell without being sleazy, pushy ambulance chasers? We can a community service. We can ask people to help us. People want to be part of a cause, and they want to help when we're in need. My friends, if you're not in need right now, you may be soon. All right. You have to be humble. You cannot be scared to ask for help. All right. There's this, the law of shared responsibility. People will take action when they know they need to take action. If people just think everything's hunky-dory, they're not going to jump on and help you. So we've got to communicate that we need help, our businesses need help, and we need to keep the wheels turning and the economy moving. And we also can sell for other people. For instance, I may not try to sell my wares to you today, but I will tell you that you better buy Herb Anderson's marketing coaching, and you better, sure as heck, better jump on a call with Sandy Zianino. Real life, they're really good at what they do, and they can help you mitigate your loss here, okay? Now, how can you get buy-in from changes you're going to make, processes you're going to try to implement through this time? All right, first off, let your people know the cause, right? Tell them what you're trying to accomplish. Is it we want to keep all the families fed, right? Is it that you want to make sure no one loses their job at their dealership? Is it that you want to make sure that for the next decade, your dealership can help the local community? Let your team know what you want to accomplish, all right? It's not just, try to stay afloat during the virus. Have a mission, have a cause, so you can get people behind it. They can't get behind the cause if they don't know what it is. Do something special for your customers. I actually have a salesman that I coach in New Jersey. He is walking his customers' dogs for them. That's pretty awesome stuff. That's pretty special. So he's going to his customer's house, picking up their dogs and just walking their dogs for them, so they don't have to go out in the public and risk bumping into other people and getting sick. Talk about dedication, man. Don't tell your team what they have to do. Ask for volunteers. This is your opportunity to find out who's really behind the cause and give them the chance to rise to the occasion. Guys, cross-sell for other departments. Again, your team, have them get to know each other. Service helps sales. Sales help service. Everyone help finance. Finance help both. We can work together to accomplish the mission if we all work together, okay? And stretch comfort zones, man. We all have got to be open to doing stuff. We've got to lead by example. 2 hours ago, I was on the phone with a dealer principal, and he said, Sean, I asked my service manager to make calls and use the dialer that you and Reed have in my store. And I don't know what he's doing. He's not doing it. And I was like, well, let me ask you a question. What's getting in his way? He's like, I don't know. I'm just mad at him for not doing it. And I go, well, how did you ask him, right? So we ended up bringing the service manager on a call, and keep in mind, half the staff is at home laid off, and this gentleman, I'm not saying bad about him, but he is there at the store while his staff is home, and he's not picking up the phone and generating business. So I asked him, what's getting in the way? And he goes, well, I don't know how to use the tool myself, and also, I'm not comfortable with the script. And I was like, okay, so how long are we going to let that go on before it causes, more layoffs and worse, worse things to happen? I got to be candid in this time, right? And he said, well, he goes, I need to do it. I'm going to start right now. And I go, what do you need from me? And he just needed some coaching and some training, and now he's good to go. So we've got to help people stretch their comfort zones. We need to lead by example. If you're a manager or a leader, we can't be a travel agent. We can't be a travel agent, okay? Sending people places where you won't go yourself. Lead by example, all right? So a couple other questions that come up when it comes to, having your sales department do other tasks, other activities. Like if I'm gonna have my sales department call service customers to try to generate service business, and that's part of this plan we're gonna share with you guys. Basically, I've been asked by dealers, well, how can I avoid getting an illegal trick bag? Or what about the unemployment bill that's coming? And then am I better off doing this, or maybe doing a furlough or a layoff? So this, I'm going to defer to Sandy Zanino. I'm going to hand this off to her next. And the wisdom that what she's going to share with you is going to be all about communicating with your dealership. I don't want to steal her thunder, and I've been holding the microphone long enough. I will pick this back up at the end here to kind of summarize and give you guys the link where you're going to get all these awesome free tools. And remember, guys, this is about stretching your comfort zone, being willing to do something new, and hearing from these industry experts. These people know what they talk about, what they're talking about. They work with dealers from coast to coast, and they spend every minute of the day researching what's going on and trying to come up with ways to improve it. So Sandy Zanino, it's all you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Well, Sean, thank you. And actually, could you put the last slide back up? Because I'm going to respond directly to that.
Happy
So
to.
I really appreciate you inviting me to be a part of this webinar. One of the things that I think is really cool about it is that it embodies the spirit of what I love the most about automotive, and that's our ability to innovate and pivot. And the other thing I love about it, it's about sharing ideas. And in this crisis, I really feel like that is an imperative. We're in this together, and we got to get through it together and get out of it together. So these 3 questions, I'm going to take them a little bit out of order. The first one, how can I avoid, or is this a legal trick bag, and how do I avoid that? Navigating this whole entire crisis in general seems to be a big old legal trick bag. And that's why I have recommended to every dealer and client and really person that I've talked to is to bring when you're planning, bring all of your trusted advisors into those strategy sessions about how you're going to respond to this crisis. And by advisors, I don't mean just your internal people. I'm talking about your external experts that you have and that you need to make use of, your safety companies, your OSHA expert, your HR consultant, bring in your HR department, bring in your benefits people, your 401k people, because all of the different things that are happening affect all of these things, and some of your decisions might affect each of these things. So my main advice is bring together all of the information. So in your planning, and that kind of leads me to the third question, really. First, is my business better off coming up with a repurposing staffing strategy, or better off furloughing, better off doing a layoff? And I'm going to give the pat HR answer, and that is, it depends. One of the things that I have said for a long time is that every dealer is unique, right? So there's no one answer for every dealer. So, and to give you an example, Sean, you mentioned some of the recent legislation, the Families First Act. That is longer than that, but for short, the Families First Act. That law only applies to dealers with 1 to 490, or any employer with 1 to 499 employees. So, for the larger dealer groups, they're not going to have to worry about that law. That the smaller groups will. And, there's two pretty big paid leave provisions in that law that are not easy to navigate. So again, I'm going to emphasize again, please bring in your experts. You know, and that being said, let's talk about repurposing when you're looking toward changing some jobs so that you can keep people employed. And every employer has the opportunity to do that. And I have talked to some people who are doing that. I've seen a lot of different ways. You know, one is a kind of an expense reduction strategy, reduce the expense and keep your employee and have them then fill that duty. So the main thing to me about legal, when you're talking about legal risk, when you are changing someone's job, make sure you have a good job description with the essential duties and a pay plan that matches it. We are an industry of creative pay planning. And I am always about protecting profits, the profits we have now and our future profits. So again, run this by your labor attorney to make sure that you're not falling out of compliance with the Fair Labor Standards Act. It's very important. You don't want to have, down the road, you don't want to have a wage and hour suit. I think I said to you, Sean, the other day, that, you know, the fact of it is when there is an economic downturn, and I remember it quite clearly from 2008 and 9, it seems to be that what happens is employment lawsuits rise. So keep that in mind when you're doing your strategic planning. You know, and to the last question about really the unemployment bill, really, I'm taking the second one last. So, you know, that law has some pretty significant, the law that you're talking about has some pretty significant unemployment expansion provisions. I think we've all heard by now that it will provide $600 of unemployment per week on top of the state unemployment that anyone who's eligible would receive. So I would say, yes, that is going to affect your decision-making in repurposing your employees and the pay plans. You know, I've heard a lot of dealers talk about a concern about retaining their employees once this is over or bringing them back. You know, there's people that we don't want to lose. So what I would say to that is one thing I would consider, and that I have really kind of suggested, is to think beyond today. Think beyond this terrible crisis that we're in to the time when the hiring freeze is off and we're once again looking to hire that top talent. Think about the kind of employer that top talent is going to want to look for and be that employer during this crisis. One of the ways to do that is communicate, over-communicate, and communicate again. Bring your people into this. This is an opportunity to really step up and lead. And your people, your internal customers, we talk a lot about our external customers, but we have internal customers and they are our employees. And so as you remember that and build your employee value proposition, when this crisis ends and we get back to some kind of normalcy, you have a better chance of being the employer that's the top choice for the top talent. So Sean, I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Oh, that was so much value, and I really appreciate you sharing some of your advice and wisdom there. And yet, to Sandy's point on the unemployment thing, you know, there was a lot. I mean, employees can make a lot of money on unemployment and for quite some time. But I will tell you this, guys, don't assume that that's what they want, because there are employees that if you ask, they want to remain on the team. They want to be able to do business development. They'd rather work from home for you. And if you can pay them, you know, if you can, you know, come close, and Reed's got a pay plan for you. And that's why we're going to segue into Reed next. Reed, you there, buddy? Let's see if Reed's there. Hold on, I'm unmuting you, my friend.
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. So Reed's going to talk. I'm going to stop the share here. And Reed, thank you for doing this on your vacation. I'm grateful for you for taking time out for this, man. It means a lot to the dealership community. And we were talking about, you know, repurposing employees, right? There's obviously, you know, dealers, you don't necessarily have to pay them as much as lots of citizens. would you rather retain your clients, work from home? You can repurpose them, and legally, in state laws, this isn't legal advice, but you can have them generate business for service. And that's what Reed's going to talk about. Reed Richards, again, BDC expert, and he coaches probably, I don't even know, but probably hundreds of service BDRs who help their dealership generate a lot of revenue from calling customers. So Reed, go ahead and take over, my friend. Tell what are your thoughts on this whole thing? How can dealers be profitable with what's going on, man?
Well, thanks, Sean, for inviting me, and I appreciate the opportunity. The way that the dealers that are still progressing right now are continuing to do the same things they were doing, before the coronavirus. They're still actively calling their declines. They're still actively calling their 12-month, no visit client. They're still doing the things they were doing before the coronavirus hit. It's just they're also offering, desanitization. They're offering, again, pickup and delivery. They're just having, they're finding a way to continue to do their business.
Oh, we might have a little technical difficulty, Reed. Reed, switch. Reed, we couldn't hear you for a moment. You were switching over to Bluetooth. That's bad.
Sorry, I apologize.
No worries. Go ahead, man. Keep going.
Well, to my point is, I don't know what part that you did miss or what you didn't miss, but everybody's actively still taking the time to make their 100 calls during the day, going after decline work, recall work, and 12-month, no retention opportunities. They're using the scripts. They're still scheduling appointments, and customers are still continually coming into the dealership and getting their vehicles serviced. I don't see why anybody should, take their foot off the pedal at this point in time, especially when the opportunities there, more so because now everybody's at home, and they're not moving around, so it's a perfect opportunity to make that call and to either for tomorrow's business or, to generate business for right now.
Reed, let's say half my sales staff was willing to and wants to make service retention calls. What kind of revenue? What kind of revenue can I expect one salesperson working from home making service retention calls? What kind of revenue should they be able to generate per day or per month? Let's say per month.
Hold on, sorry. How much sales generate per month?
Yeah. How
Well,
much,
Sean, as we've discussed before, average BDR in our service department should be scheduling at least 8 retention opportunities on a daily basis. I don't know what your average, ticket customer pay and warranty pay is, but I think the national average is somewhere close to around $300. So if that be the case, and especially right now, if you have one person dialing away and calling on, recalls and declines and retention opportunities, and they schedule 8 appointments at $300, that's, if you do the math, it's $2,400 a day. And either additional revenue or missed revenue, that you would have missed out on if you wouldn't have made the phone call. I mean, that would be whether or not the virus is here today or isn't here today.
Yeah, that's the interesting part about all the best practices that we are sharing with you guys. Think about that, right? How important are they now when the chips are down? But these are things that you can do all the time, even when business is up. And the dealerships that do are usually light years more profitable than the rest. Reed, that's a great, Reed's got some great points there. So think about that. You can have one salesperson doing service retention and well more paid for his salary, his benefits, and retain that employee. And all you have to do is, let's tackle that, right? How hard is it for a salesperson to become a service retention BDR? How much training?
Well, it's more on an initiative and a will to want to. more than it is on the training side of it. The training side of it is I could take you, today and show you how to make that call. The problem is you got to get that salesman mentality out of your head. It's not, you're not selling anybody anything. You're scheduling an appointment.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And that for coming from the sales side of things, can you hear me?
Yep.
Coming from the sales side of the industry myself, it took me like 5 years.
Okay. Reed, if you could make some more weird noises with your car, that'd be awesome. I'm just joking, man. I'm just busting your chops. I love you, man. Hey, I appreciate everything.
I'm sorry.
But Reed's spot on, guys. Listen, one of my going back to the Army days, right? And whenever I'm in a challenging situation, I always kind of think back to combat and stuff. But, in the Army, no matter what job, MOS you have, it doesn't matter if you're a cook, a psychological operations sergeant, doesn't matter. Your primary role is infantry, man. When the what hits the fan, you pick up your gun and you fight. Reed's a fellow Army, by the way, so he gets this too. So the point is that if you're in sales at a dealership, your job is to generate revenue. If you can't sell cars, what else can you sell? You got to be willing to change, got to be willing to adapt, add value to your store, man. You can generate revenue for your company. Reed, thank you very much. Now let's go ahead and let's see. I'll tell you what, I think this is a good time to bring Owen into this, because now we're kind of bringing in the service side of things. Owen's got some amazing, again, fixed ops digital marketing. The guy's got some great stuff to help you grow your service finances or business and service and revenue and gross and service. Owen, take it away, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sean. Service is definitely the place where we need to be right now. In a lot of states, a lot of markets, they've shut down sales. Even in markets where they haven't shut it down, in some cases they've mandated where you've had to lay off, 50% of your staff. So to Reed's point, well, you'd love to be pushing, full capacity and not missing a beat either on the sales or service side. Some of this is a little bit out of your control, right? You don't have all the people there. You're going to see that your efficiencies are gonna get hurt just from that. So it's not that it's so much the will. I think in a lot of cases it's what's being thrown in front of the dealerships that are tough. And so what we've been doing, obviously at Fix Ops Digital, we're a service marketing digital marketing company, and that's all we do is service. So our business has actually kind of brought into overdrive since this happened. One of the first things that we did was reach out to all of our customers and start looking at how we can help with information, on their website. Obviously, information is everything, and Reed mentioned a couple things that I took note here of: pickup and delivery and sanitation. Right? Those are sanitizing, and those are areas where everybody. I actually did a Facebook Live, and I kind of made a kind of a comment about it. That everybody else was putting their COVID-19 policy letter together to email to everybody, and I think I received like 35 of them in one day. Our team instead was building content. I mean, we're a content company. That's what we do. We put content on people's websites, and we flipped. We just said, hey, instead of going from normal service content that we normally do, let's get our pickup and delivery information out there. Let's get information about the steps that we're taking to make customers feel safe. Because if customers don't know what you guys are doing as a dealership, how are they supposed to make the decisions when they don't really know what this is all about either? So we really have taken the lead in the industry to help our dealerships and our customers really get that information out to their service customers. And what it's really done is it's created an environment where now they can use that content with their service BDC, with their different pieces of their business, because they have that information.
I saw that a post on LinkedIn you made, I think last week, and within a day you had created like 200 pickups for some of your dealers. It was crazy. So that's really good stuff. And I you mentioned some of the cleaning stuff. There's some really neat stuff out there you can get really cheap. I'm talking $15. This Don Wood, one of my dealers in Ohio, and I were talking this morning for about an hour and a half, and he was like, "Oh, Sean, everyone's buying the car flu shot. Like it's after the detail they give a flu shot, and it like fumigates it and kills all the." Anyway, sorry, what you're saying is awesome.
No, yeah, with us being able to scale like we can, 200 pages for us was pretty quick, right? We were able to kind of just maneuver our whole team into this crisis mode. But you're right. I mean, getting that information out there. Imagine a town of 200,000 people, or even 50,000 people, and they're scared. I mean, people are not sure what's going on. Obviously, we're starting to get a little more information every day, and everyone's educating themselves on what they can do to stay healthy. But at that initial time when this kind of hit, it was borderline, pandemonium in terms of what customers can do. And so making them feel comfortable, knowing that you're taking the steps to go pick up their car, perform the service, deliver it back to them. Those are all things that are going to make them feel great and make them feel at ease of what you're doing. But I guess what it's really going to do is create an environment where you can continue to operate, right? We've got to continue to make money. We've got to continue to keep the lights on. And if we can't sell cars, or we can't sell as many cars because, we don't have the staff. I got one dealership that state ordered him, or the city ordered him to, lay off a lot of his employees. They've gone down to one sales rep per store. They have one sales rep at each of their 3 stores. They've got one finance person to handle all 3 stores, and they've got a couple managers. And that's what they're doing now until they're able to sort of ramp it back up, once we get kind of the all clear and everybody's good to go. So, it's a tough environment right now. It's tougher in some markets than others, but, by putting that information out there and doing it in a way that the customer can then find it and be able to educate themselves about what you're doing, that's what we're all about, and that's what we're doing. It's definitely not an on-the-lot type of environment for us. We're more of the front lines, right? We're the ones that when people go onto a website, the dealership's website, Facebook page, things like that, we're getting the information out there to the customer. So
that's awesome, man. I think that now we've got we've got the opportunity to kind of redefine our employees' job roles, right? And then we're able to do it, to state law specifications, and then we're able to communicate it effectively with Sandy's tools. And then you've got the ability to take your salespeople and repurpose them into service revenue generating people. And then you've got you can use the right marketing, and it's very cost effective. Social media marketing. You can drive those pickups and deliveries, provide that extra service that maybe you weren't before. And then all of a sudden you've got more people showing up in service. Now, how can that equate to additional sales? And this is where I'm so glad and honored to have Velko here, and Velko's gonna go next. But before he does, Owen, anything else that you want to share, my friend? I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, the only thing I would say, and this is, we knew that 2020 was going to be kind of the year of fixed ops. I mean, we had just gotten done with NADA. We were gearing up for some really big, opportunities to get in front of dealer bases with conferences and 20 groups and things like that. And so obviously, our whole company has been shifted in the last 3 weeks here. But one of the things that we push every day to our dealership network is to have good, clear and transparent pricing, have more information, have education, have that education out there, maybe OEM recommendations. So having that information is becoming more and more important. But even in today, in a crisis like today, or in an environment like today, it's even more important, because what ends up happening is that customer will go online looking for ways that they can save money, or they can get the services that they need done at the most economical environment, right? They don't want to underpay for things, because then they're not getting maybe the service, but they definitely don't want to overpay. So we have always stressed to our dealers to make sure they get that information out there, the pricing, what to expect, what's the OEMs telling us, that type of thing. So putting that online, whether my company does it or whether you use a different infrastructure to do it, is really what we're stressing, because the independents are out there. They've been putting out content online for years, even other dealerships that you're competing with. When you're putting a $5 or a $10 off a service, customers don't know what that means. So this is our message, and this is our mission every day. Now it's just been, a 10X, because we know that customers, WordStream just came out with an article 2 days ago that said the search conversions for repair and maintenance has increased 44% since COVID has sort of come into into the environment, which would be about middle end of January is what they were looking at. So we know that traffic's there, and then we're putting that information in front of the consumers so they actually have it. And that's the most important thing, I think, for any dealership that's looking to keep their doors open and keep their service department going, you know?
Yeah, and you know, business generation is a multi-spoke wheel, right? Like you've got your marketing efforts, your sales efforts. If you've got marketing out there, putting the right message out there, and there's transparency and clarity, and people know what to expect, right? And then you've got, you know, your people are dialing and they're reinforcing the message, and then the customer shows up, and then they deal with a trained advisor, you know, and who's trying to add value to the sales side. And that's where Velco, I think, comes in here. And I want to, and it's going to be an interesting segue too, to talk about, we've got, by the way, guys, we have 3 more experts that you're going to hear from. So stick around, because we are going to, I mean, literally we've got Velco 2 Chief, right? He's next. Then we're going to have Herb Anderson. Herb Anderson is literally going to share some amazing marketing strategies that you can implement right away that are free for your dealership. That's really going to help you. And then we've got John Stubblefield, who's going to help you generate F&I income from all these service opportunities that we're helping you create. So we got some really neat stuff. And I want to show you guys what you're going to get. The tools, I'm going to share the screen. So these are the tools that we're giving you guys for free. They're all right here. There's links here. There's passwords for the sites, for the video training. There's scripts for the sales scripts. It's all there. And we're giving that to you guys just for joining watching this webinar. And again, all we ask in return, we want one thing from you. We want to be here to support you if you need something. And you guys, all of us, thumbs up with me if you're cool at this. Are you guys cool to, you know, free strategy call? If anyone joins, you know, fills this out and let's say, or I want to know more about some of the HR laws, I'm concerned, or hey man, I want to get, you know, I need to talk to Reed about getting the my sales team calling service appointments. Are all you guys, thumbs up if they can schedule a free strategy call with you? Are you cool with that? Very cool. All right, awesome. So I'm going to share this link by the time we get done. So before we Velco, before we hand up, what guys, we've gone through a few. What questions do we have? Do you guys, you viewers, we've got a bunch of participants. What questions do you have for either myself or Owen or Sandy or Reed Richards? Any questions for that? If you guys have any questions, go ahead and post it in the comments for me, and we'll answer those. We'll answer those. Okay. So while you guys are thinking of your questions, posting them in there, let's go ahead and hand over to Velco right now. So Velco, again, man, you're one of the top sales trainers out there. You and I have worked together on multiple dealers, you know, helping them grow their business. We've seen some amazing wins together. You actually are the one that, by the way, can I tell the story real quick? 30 seconds?
Sure. Tell the story.
So back when I was first starting my business, I knew that Facebook Live was going to need to be a big tool for myself, you know, to grow my business and get my name out there. But every time I'd pick up my phone to hit record, I'd be like, I can't do it. So anyways, I knew I needed help, right? So my comfort zone, I was trying to stretch it. I couldn't. So I called Velco because the guy, he goes live like every other day. So Velco, I paid Velco to drive literally from Chicago, where he's from, to St. Louis, and basically make me go live on Facebook. So he made me go live like 10 times. And since then I'm good with it. So Velco, the fact that I'm even on video, I owe it to Velco. So anyway, Velco, go ahead and so we're generating all these extra service opportunities with this plan now. So how do we turn those into sales if we can't sell? Tell us about that.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me, Sean. It's my pleasure. My name is Velco Tuchiev. I'm the professional problem solver. For those of you that don't know me, I started selling cars in 2007, 2008. It was very similar situation back then. If you remember, that's when the big three was going on and people were more concerned about their finances. Right now, people are concerned about their life. So it's a little bit different magnitude, a little bit different type of crisis. But what I want to share with you today is 4 quick tips that you could apply today. I also want to share with you a service to sales bridge on how you can generate more leads into sales. And I also want to share with you a free gift, something that's worth $700-800. And I will give you the link, and you'll be able to learn how to generate at least 10 referrals on each delivery. See, the times that we're going through right now, we've never experienced anything like that. But what I know for sure is that relational selling was never more important than right now. Okay, there's a lot of fake gurus, a lot of fake relationships, a lot of fake stuff is going to disappear from the world now after the quarantine. So we need to be prepared, and we need to show our clients that we're generally nice human beings and we want to connect with them in a genuine way. So my selling style is educational, and I educate my clients. In our industry, we were told from the negotiations age, we were told not to share numbers with our clients, not to share too much information, because in the negotiations age, we kept all the information, we had all of the leverage. So at this point,
Stay stupid, right?
I'm sorry?
They used to tell us, stay stupid. You don't need to know
Right,
that.
stay stupid. That's what that was the training back then. Just stay stupid, don't do anything crazy. And now I think it's a phenomenal opportunity for us to get our clients' attention. You know, so if you're a sales person, definitely, if you have access to your client base, start a Facebook group and add all of your clients as friends, or add them to that specific group, and start educating them on how to buy a car, how to get a good loan, how to keep a good credit score, and just give with no expectations of getting anything. So while you're sitting at home and while your clients couldn't come to your dealership and do business, if you're in a metropolitan area like Chicago or New York, then do that and just give your clients education on how to be smarter buyers, right? So I believe in educational selling, and my follow-up style and my business model as a car salesman has always been relational. So I invested in relationships, and my follow-up style was relational. So I want to introduce you to 2 free tools that you could test today and see how it works for you. But those are the tools that helped me to build my business around repeats and referrals. And I sold cars for about 7 years, and 100% of my sales were based on repeat and referral clients, and I worked by appointment only. So if you are a relational salesperson, crises like that are not going to affect you as much as other more transactional salespeople. I talk to my clients a lot right now, and some of my students are still selling 30 cars a month. Some of my students are still delivering vehicles to clients' locations, and they're still working around that coronavirus. And the reason why, it's because people are going to need cars regardless. If you're in this situation, you can't pick up your kid and you can't go and buy groceries because your car is not running, you're gonna go and buy a car. Okay, you're gonna figure out a way to buy a car, and or go to service and fix it. So that's the reason why our president decided that car dealerships are essential business, because people are always going to be in the market for a car. So during those times in 2007, 2008, a lot of the top producers left the industry just because there was a huge pay cut, right? So if you lose 20, 30% of your business, that could be significant, especially if you live paycheck to paycheck. If your dealership is losing 20, 30% business, and your dealership is living paycheck to paycheck, that could be devastating. And some dealers are down 60%. Some dealers are down only 5, 10%, right? So some dealers are still operating as usual, and they're just losing 10, 15% of business. So that's how those relational salespeople are. Relational salespeople are not as busy as they were before, because a lot of people were concerned about going to the dealership, but they're still selling, 80% of what they were selling before, and they're still able to produce for their families. So 4 quick tips I want to share with you. First of all, stock up on leads. The same way people are stocking up on toilet paper and things like that, your job is to stock up on leads right now. Everyone is at home. So if you're at home, definitely start conversations with people, talk about what their future vehicle would be, still get to know them, still find out what they're driving now, what kind of miles they have on their cars, what's the financial status on the car, still get to know those people and build those relationships during those downtimes, and just stock up on leads. Start making lists of people that are subprime, people that are, that could easily afford, or people that are looking for 0% and things like that. My second tip is to target your clients properly. So 0% for 84 months is not really designed for subprime people. They would not qualify for that 0%, okay? It's designed for rich people who are looking to take advantage of economical crisis like that, okay? It's designed for people who could easily afford to buy your product cash, but they want to keep their money in the bank. So be able to target your people specifically based on the special. Don't just sell it to everyone, right? Connect to those people who could afford and take advantage of 0% rate for. That's just one example. The third tip is to re-engineer your solutions to help with coronavirus, right? So it's kind of like what Reed mentioned about the cleaning and stuff. But at this point, we already know what the customer's fears are of buying a vehicle. So let's proactively address those fears and add some of the fears of coronavirus. And if we're proactive and if we bring those things first, then we're going to make our customers comfortable and we'll put them at ease so they can start a conversation. And when we show them that we're already thinking about that, it will be easier. It will be much easier to get their attention, right? So we need to focus on becoming a little bit more effective in being proactive. The fourth tip is get creative with your sales presentation. And this is a time when I want to introduce you to a tool that I've used and it's an absolute condition for my students to use. It's a video app it's called Car Film. So if you are writing things down, go to velco.info. It's spelled VELKO.info, velco.info, and you'll be able to download this app. If you do it on desktop, it will give you a 14 days free trial. So there's absolutely no risk. Check out the app, set up some videos, record your video testimonials on this app, record your educational videos on this app, record everything on this app and communicate with your clients through video. And the final tip is don't panic. Don't panic. Don't stop selling. Okay. When I started in the business, all of the top producers at my dealership left. They went to mortgages. They went to insurance. They went to become drivers and to become workers in factories to help their families and to survive their families. So they left the very good skill and the very own skill of sales that they invested so many years. They threw that out the window so they could go and serve another industry. So don't make that mistake. You're a salesman and you are born to be a salesman, and this is the way you earn living. So don't panic, don't freak out, continue to sell. What happened to me at that point is I was able to become a top producer because everybody else left in the business and my paychecks were growing each and every month. And that's how my career looked like from that situation, because people were still buying cars. And at that point in 2008, people were thanking me for giving them attention. They said, we can't find somebody to sell us a car. Everybody is checking out. So there are some people right now begging for your services and everybody's checked out. Nobody wants to touch them. Everybody's afraid to take their money. Those people are going to come and fall into your lap if you don't panic and if you don't stop selling. So,
Velko, and I just want to throw one thing out there. You made me think about, do you want to be the, do you want to be the 1% of salespeople going after the 99% of people that will buy a car in the near future because of all the crazy opportunities, right? And there's a lot of them, right? We've got a lot of value propositions in our message. And listen, it's not about selling a car. It's about communicating what's going on to people, right? So if I tell my customers, hey, we haven't been able to go to an auction in 2 months because they've been closed. And because of that, we're paying more than average to buy cars. And then we've got all this new car inventory we need to get rid of, so there's an opportunity. And the banks, the rebates the incentives have never been so good, right? Bottom line, like communicating that to your customers, there's nothing salesy about that, right? That's how you feed your family.
It's our responsibility. It's our duty. It's our duty as being in the industry to serve our clients and to serve them when they need us. And they need us at situations like that. There are some people out there that are buyers. And that's what I'm saying. If you're afraid or if you're not able to sell, then collect those leads. Because I'm sure that right now people are reaching out to you, especially if you're better than average salesperson. Collect those leads and put them in your pipeline or send them somewhere where they can buy and help them out, because you are the resource. You are the one they're counting you, right? So
let's and Velko, I love what you said about the relational selling, man. It's if you've got the relationships, now's as good a time as any. Humanize yourself for your customers, man. use a video app. You know, if you've got DriveCentric CRM or Get
Yes.
Car, whatever, Co-Video, they're all there. There's so many tools.
Yeah, use the video app. I'm personally a huge fan of car film, and I represent car film, so I wanted you to use this one because it's free for 14 days. You can easily check it out for free. You don't have to buy it.
I do want you to know too, I have your link for the referral training that Velco's giving you for free, right? It's free Velco. They put in your password.
Yeah.
I did put that in the folder. So you don't have to share that link. When you guys, the link, I'm going to share a link with you in the chat. Before this webinar ends, we're going to share that with you. And then you're going to be able to go in there and get all these tools in one folder. It's all free. We're giving it to you guys. So.
We're not going to share a link because it's an expensive product. So only the people who are watching this webinar are going to be able to get that link.
We'll see about that. No, I'm just joking. No problem, Velco. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, Velco. Great content.
So just one more thing before I go, if you allow me to, there's another tool that I used specifically for service to sell bridge. And I have a client right now that is absolutely killing it still. Only their service department is open. They only have one salesperson, one finance guy, one desk manager, and they're still selling, you know, up to 7, 8, 10 cars a day, and they're selling 100% service clients. Okay, so if you have Auto Alert or any other tool that does equity mining in your CRM, combine it with Send Out Cart. Again, that link is velco.guru, G-U-R-U. Okay, velco.guru. It's a Send Out Cart. There's also a free trial, so you can check it out for free. This is what I do to connect with my clients. Even today, everyone on my staff is sending at least 3 cards per day. Right now, everyone is at home, so it's a phenomenal way to combine digital with analog and to send them a card at home, something nice, emotional, something about them to show them that you care. It's very easy. It's inexpensive. If you get the unlimited plan, it's yeah.
Thank you, Velco. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, and I've got a dealer on the East Coast. Every sale, and this is a Nissan Kia store, so it's high volume. Every single delivery gets a send out card. They actually, so you can use the site to send brownies, and the customers that love it. And when they follow up, they remember it. It's a great.
They've been using it for a long time.
So let's dive in, Velco. Thanks, man. Great wisdom. We are grateful for you to be here. And then Herb Anderson. Now, Herb Anderson is he's a marketing guy. He's been consulting for, actually he consulted for Toyota for a long time, and you know, in service marketing, and he's got marketing analytics and stuff. But at the end of the day, you guys are watching expenses, you're trimming where you can. You know, there's a lot of cancellations happening around the marketing realm, and I think it's important to know like what tools and resources you have that are free that you might and probably aren't taking advantage of fully. So Herb, with no further ado, my friend, take it away. I'm excited for this portion.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for inviting me. You know, I appreciate the opportunity. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing we got to do, guys, is we cannot, like Velco stated earlier, we cannot panic, right? And I know it's so hard. Everybody keeps saying that, but it's so hard to do when you know, we're in these types of situations. But from a marketing perspective, we got to rely on the data, right? So I put this piece. If you want some more specific information on this, go to my LinkedIn page and look at my posts and you know, dive deep into this. But you know, these are the things that we need to watch for from a marketing perspective. And the number one thing that we need to look at is our traffic, right? Because this is what we see on the marketing side. So since a week ago, look at the website traffic. All the website traffic that I've been reviewing, for the most part, is going up. There's an upward trend. Customers are online and they're still looking for vehicles. So to make a rash decision of, hey, we're stopping everything, is it really the way to go? And not only is the traffic up, but the quality of the traffic is decent, right? More pages per session, 500 in this particular week, 614 users, 519 of those users were new customers. Bounce rates are lower, and more average sessions durations. That means that customers are spending more time per session. So this is very, very important for us to understand, because if we're just shutting things down, we're really not doing a service to ourselves, right? To our business, to our employees.
That's it.
Now,
because they're, you know, customers have more time to browse, right? And they're hearing about all these deals from the marketing that the OEMs are doing, and from dealers that are, you know, marketing and using services. And so I think that why would you stop now? And now financially, right? There's challenges, but this thing could explode in the very near future.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, for sure. And so that brings me to the next point. So the next thing we need to look at is we need to look at our sources, right? We need to understand the traffic that's coming to our site and who's driving that. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is go to your source medium report in your Google Analytics and look at your top 10, right? A lot of it is going to be organic. A lot of it is going to be direct. A lot of it is going to be through social media. So those are the top referral sources that I would be focusing on right now. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But before we get into that, the reason why we want to look at this and we want to measure that against quality, right? Against the quality, what's the bounce rate? What's the page per sessions, average duration? What's the goal conversion? Is because our message is different. What we were selling a week ago, or the message that we had a week, 2 weeks ago, isn't relevant anymore, right? So what we need to do, like for example, on our website, the first thing that we need to do is we need to have some sort of information piece, boom, right there. As a customer goes to your website, hey, Mr. Customer, we're here to help you. These are the things that we're doing, right? If you go to your website right now and it looks just the way it looked 2 weeks ago before all of this happened, it's not relevant. You're missing opportunities. You're not taking the opportunity to communicate to the customers that are visiting your website. What are you doing differently? How are you combating the current situation? What are you doing to make them feel safe? What are you doing to let them know that you're taking precautions to make them safe, to make your employees safe, right? So with the Moto, for example, on the site.
yeah, Herb, one of my dealers, so one of the dealers I was talking to this morning told me, I asked him that question. I said, how come there's nothing on your site for that, man? And he's like, you know, because these guys have been in business for 50 something, 60 years. He's a third generation dealer. And I said, there's nothing about the community and how, because he said, I want to make sure all 100 of the families that work for me get to keep their jobs. And I go, where's that on your website? He's like, oh, it takes like 3 weeks to change that stuff. And I'm like, what? And
Yeah, no, I mean, you gotta be able to get on this and do it quickly. I mean, you know, to Owen's point, right? When all this went down, they went into, you know, they hunker down with their dealers and they see the priority and they got to doing what they do best, right? So it's about having those right partners too. That plays a lot into this, right? But so from this section, you go into a landing page, right? And that landing page gives me specifics. So these are all the things that we're doing. Okay, on the service side, these are all the things that are different. 2 weeks ago, we weren't offering all these services. Now we are, right? On the sales side, 2 weeks ago, we weren't doing any of this. Now we weren't doing any of this. Now we are. But we gotta be able to tell the customers, those potential buyers, referencing back to the traffic, right? That this increase of activity. Think about that. 519 new users that have never been to our website. If they go to our website and it's like this, it's pretty much like every other website out there. We're not really addressing the situation and we're missing the opportunity to tell the customer that story, right? So having that presence is fundamental. It's key. It's one of the first things that you need to do is understand that, okay, the message is different. What we're doing is different, right? And then you want to stay tight within your community, 10 to 30 miles from your dealership. And the reason you want to make those efforts is because if you're picking up cars for service, you can't pick up cars, or you're going to make your life a lot harder if you got to go 100 miles out, you know? So you want to stay tight. You want to stay within your backyard so that you can control that situation better. The other thing that I would do is I would look at adjacent markets, right? It's not about, hey, I'm gonna steal customers away from areas that are shut down. It's about helping people, right? If a market is shut down and you need to, I don't know, like you guys were talking about earlier, if you need a car or you got to go pick up your kids or whatever, then you want to make sure that you let people know that, hey, you know, like we're here to help. You know, be tasteful in the message, right? Don't, you know, it's not like, hey, we're open for business, come buy from us sort of a deal, but, you know, let them know that there are alternatives out there.
Yeah. Awesome, Herb. That's great advice, and probably something that, again, when we're so fearful and we're just looking at our numbers and our results, we're not thinking about. But these are the things that you can take action on right now and really change the outcome. And that's what this is all about. We can't guarantee a changed outcome, but we can influence it, right? If we take
Absolutely.
action. And Herb, would you share a little bit about the Google My Business strategy? Because that's something you're giving everyone for free. That is the folder that you guys are all going to get the link to shortly after John speaks. And I do want to, if you guys have a little extra time, we're finishing right on time, it looks like. So I'd like to maybe do a Q&A because we do have a few questions. I'd like to make sure we answer them if that's okay, if you guys have time.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get into the GMB, but one last point real quick. The other thing that we need to do from a dealership perspective without panicking is we need to look at our digital marketing budget, right? If your if your marketing budget looks like this right now, you need to make some adjustments, right? A lot of these third-party listing sites are not really going to do a lot for you right now. I hate to say it, it's not a dig, it's just true. Like a lot of these, like how can you have $21,000 in expenses and you have no fixed operations budget? Right now, a lot of that budget that you have, if you're not marketing to your service department, that's where it needs to go, right? That's where it needs to be spent. We gotta really get focused on service. That's what's gonna, like Owen Moon was talking about earlier, that's what's gonna carry our business in these times, right? Is that fixed operations department. So a lot of these budgets need to be reallocated to really, highlight the service part of our business. So being able to go through these channels and being like, okay, do I really need, this much on this provider? I'm not saying shut them off, get them down to as minimal as possible and then reallocate that spend. So my suggestion for budgets right now would be a lot of fixed operations and social media, because social media allows you to tell that message quicker. You can control it. You can keep it local.
Yeah. And then I would throw in there and update your website for the love of God, man. Get the right message, get the mission together, right? Align your team around that mission. Like I talked about earlier, set those expectations. What are we trying to accomplish together and why is it so important? And then get that message on your website. So important. Even if you have to hire someone to do it, because if your agency can't act quick enough, that's an issue. Get someone on that. Herb, great stuff. Now share those. Could you give like 2 more minutes, man, before, because we got to get John and then I want to do a little Q&A, but could you cover 2 more minutes? What about this Google My Business strategy? This is free. Anyone at the dealership can leverage this to help.
Absolutely. So right now, organic is key, right? We want to drive customers to our business. We want to capture that customer's search, and we want to drive them to our sandbox, so to speak. So a couple of things to look on the Google My Business, and these are all things that you could do for free. Is number one, look at your HTTP. If your website is set up like this, where it says HTTP, that's a problem. That needs to say HTTPS, and the reason you want the S in there is because it's secure, right? Google looks at that S as being a secure site. If you don't have that in, let's say you're browsing for a dealership or browsing for content, that S that browser can look at that as an unsecure site, and it's going to put that warning that says, hey, you're about to go to an unsecure site. Do you want to proceed? The other reason why it's important is because Google's going to look at that and they're going to ding you for it because they're looking at your site as unsecure. Look at your listings and make sure that it's not just Google. I mean, yeah, Google, of course, you want to be there. It's important, but your Bing listing, is it claimed? Right? Does the Bing listing say that like this, where on this particular example says, is this your business ? If it's like that, it's pretty much like leaving the door open to your house. Somebody can click on there, make edits to your page. Your competitors can go in there and be like, hey, change your hours and phone numbers, and you're never going to get notified of those changes, and Google can actually ding you for that. You know what I mean? And you're exposed, right? Let's see, the other thing that I wanted to point out here with the GMBs is going to be, let me show you this example here really quick. So
this is free. This is powerful SEO that you can do with your team.
Absolutely. So this section here, for some reason, I don't know, a lot of dealers are not aware of this, but you can post content on your GMB for free. So for this particular dealership, these are some of the things that we're doing for them right now. We're using the GMB to post, to bring them back to this relevant site from our website, to our website, to remind them of the things that we're currently doing right now that are different. And this is free, folks. It doesn't cost you anything. All you have to do is go in there and you can just post, right? Yeah. Google doesn't charge you for this. There's no cost for you whatsoever. So what about if you had a strategy like Sean, you were talking about earlier? One of the ways for us to leverage this situation is to ask customers, right? Let's reach out to our power base and let's ask customers. What if we create content in there that's like, hey, help us out weather the storm, right? And put pictures of your team members, family, that sort of a deal, and create that community, that bond environment between yourself and the people that are doing business with you, that are looking for your content, for your information on the site. So all these things are all things that are very doable. They're things that you could do at your dealership. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's just a way for you to increase your SEO, that organic push right now. That's what dealers need to be focusing on the most. Keep it local.
Herb, really good stuff, man. I think with the tools you've provided and what the rest of the experts here have provided, we're talking about, a unified effort that it's a lot of people at the dealership doing a little bit more or changing what they do to ultimately drive some serious traffic. So, and not just drive traffic, but leverage it, capitalize on the opportunity. My Alexa's going crazy. Alexa, stop. Dismiss. Sorry. All right. So now let's go ahead and have John, let's go ahead and segue over to John Stubblefield. Now we've got this, so now we've got salespeople generating service business. We've got, the service department creating future sales opportunities. We've taught, we can use Google My Business to create organic marketing opportunities. And we see that customers are shopping for cars, and we're stretching our comfort zones, and we're using new scripts to reach out to customers with that whole community-based approach. Now what about F&I, right? Where's F&I in this? John Stubblefield is going to share some ways that you can generate F&I income with the business you're currently doing. John, I actually shared one of your tips with Mike over in Jersey, and he's like, literally, him and the service manager, like, we're doing this right now. So they like decided to start selling warranties, man. So dive right in, brother. Go ahead and share with everyone what your strategies are.
Yeah, so I'll give you some questions to really ask yourself, your service advisors, your finance guys, and your sales guys, and then also, some ideas, right? So somebody said this earlier, these should be best practices because you should probably already be doing this, and some of you might already be doing some of this stuff, right? But I would say some of your questions you need to find out where your service department's at, where the finance department's currently at, and what happens if you do have to send sales or finance home and only have service open. So the questions would be do they already, or will your service advisors sell finance products on the service drive? So such finance products are as your service contracts, your maintenance packages, your tire and wheel, interior, exterior protection. Can they do it on their own? Do they need help from finance departments to even offer it? Because, a lot of service advisors don't even have the ability to even sell a contract, or if they did sell a contract, they have no idea how to price it. And even if they know how to price it, they can't complete it anyway. So you got to get to a finance guy. So before, it's kind of been a pain in the butt, because if you try and come to me and I'm in the middle of a deal and you're out on the service drive, I'm not going to be able to help you. So again, do they have the ability to complete it by themselves, right? And then if finance does get sent home, would they be willing to help service out? Can service send them leads to call and give quotes to sell finance products? I promise you, your finance guys are going to be the best guys at selling products. That's what they do all day long. So if your service guys can't, or maybe they don't feel comfortable with it, find out if they can, get leads for finance guys to call on, right? Would you be able to offer to your customers? So is this something you would do, during, or so, like, for example, whenever Reed's talking about calling the customer and scheduling, getting your sales guys to schedule, or getting your current BDC going from BDC setting appointments for sales to setting appointments for service, right? So what are they doing before, during, or after the visit? Do you have that stuff put in place? Do you have software in place that allows a service advisor to sell and complete the whole product sale on his own? There are vendors out there that have software that supposedly lets a service advisor do it, set it up, get it done, complete everything, get it all, done, sold right there without the help of the finance guy, right? So another good question I'd be asking right now is, should you be having your finance and or your sales teams call every single service customer, and not only, have them do a thank you for coming in and checking out service, do a follow-up, but what other products, can they pitch, right? So what other products can they pitch before? Can sales, when you're talking about, Reed earlier doing the, having them call and set those up, how do you set that up for other products while they're coming in? So are you looking at new products that you currently don't have and can be offered in service right now? So I was talking to my neighbor up the street, and he said they've got an antimicrobial, it's a vehicle sanitation product, right? It kills and slows down the spread of the microorganisms. Some of them last for 6 months. Theirs will last for 6 months. You turn the AC on, it actually distributes it throughout the entire vehicle. It's something that eliminates 99.9% of germs, right? Are you getting those ones? He was saying that he's got one of the only ones out there that's EPA registered and FDA approved, right? So again, one of the things that I'm offering at the end of this call, and Sean will tell you as well, is we normally charge $495 an hour to do a strategy call with you. We're going to do those for free. So at the end of this, if you want to sit down and I'll go over it with you and I'll help you, I'll refer you to the people that I know that do this stuff. Can they, do they, will they, should they, your finance guys, do you want to have them meet and talk to your service advisors, come up with a plan together, help train them, help teach them, help get them through the questions that they have whenever a customer, talks about, maybe they don't even feel comfortable even introducing a product. Maybe they feel like they're being pushy sales guys, right? So will they do that? I would tell you your finance guys probably have scripts and talk tracks that, that they would want them to use, and they could come up with a plan together to, to work on it together. Does your finance department right now currently have processes in place that help them sell finance products after the sale? So think about all the people that, it depends on where you're at as far as, I've got dealers that sell at 30% warranty penetration, and I got guys that I know that sell at 70% warranty penetration. If you're one of those guys that's selling under 70% warranty penetration, do you think it'd be a good idea to put a plan in place to your after the sale? I mean, how many, if you sell 100, 200, 300 cars a month at 30%, you've got 30, 60, 80, 100 possible people that should be able to buy service contracts a month, right? Most of my dealers mark that service contract up $1,000 to $1,500, right? Do you have that put in place? Now is the time. You should have already had that in place, but if you didn't, now is the time to start doing it. While your finance guys, if you're sending them home and they're not doing anything, get them involved, right? So can they sell these longer than, the 18 to 24 month example, right? So we've got a company that, we work with that will actually let you take a warranty. So again, back to that question, right? So if I sell a $3,500 contract and we only let them finance it for 18 months, right? If I'm doing it outside of the purchase, how do they afford that $200 payment, right? There are companies out there, one I know about in particular, that will do an 84-month contract. If you sell a 7-year warranty through service, you can get a 7-year payment on that warranty. So where it's costing them 30, 40, 50 bucks to have a warranty on it versus them paying money out of pocket up front. There's also a company out there that they'll send out mailers for you. They'll call for you. They'll sell your products for you, and you can get paid on it. Again, I can help you with that. So,
out there for the listeners here, because what John's talking about here is really just offering warranties to everyone. So your unsold customers, every service customer, and it's crazy because I'm thinking back to when I was at the dealership and I had my service department offering it to customers who had a warranty work done within 10,000 miles of their warranty, their factory warranty expired. So, hey, Sandy, you just saved $900 under factory warranty. So would you like to go ahead and extend that warranty because you're going to be out of factory warranty in 3,000 miles? And it was crazy how high of a closing percentage those have. So if you can, there's no question, man. There's so many new products out there now that, man, when was the last time you looked at your product menu? And John, that's a great point, man. There's probably some stuff you can offer now that is much more relevant to the market. And if you don't have, some sort of, vehicle flu shot, you're probably missing out there big time.
Well, for example, like that vehicle flu shot you're talking about, right? So, there's some dealers that are giving it away. There's some dealers that say, all right, it's normally $49 for 6 months. That means you risk $7 a month to have it in your car, right? But it's $49. we're giving you 50% off right now because we realize what's going on. So we'll wipe your car down, we'll do that stuff. But if you want the one that lasts for 6 months, eliminates 99%, you know, there are ways for them to sell that and even possibly set that up front, but you got to have the availability to do it. And then back to what you were saying on these guys, you know, what your finance guys at your store will know the best way to approach those customers. So when I did finance, people would go, well, you know, why would I buy? So I sold warranties at 78% penetration at my Ford store, right? I would always have people go, well, what, can't I just wait till my 3-year 36,000 mile warranty is up, right? Like, can't I just wait to do it then, right? So again, your service advisors, when they got somebody in there that's got 5,000 miles on the car, now is the best time to sell that warranty because it's $1,000 cheaper.
By the way, just to Sandy's purposes, you know, she's all about compliance and HR. You know, and my bad, I said warranty. She prefers
Service contracts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You're not supposed to say warranty, right? So service contracts, right?
Right. Yeah.
So my point is, though, is service advisors can sell that warranty if they know the proper way to do it at 5,000 miles. Like, hey, notice you didn't buy it whenever you bought the car. 3 years from now, the warranties that we sell right now to somebody that has 33,000 miles on it, they're about $1,000 more than you can buy one that'll last for 7, 8, 9, 10 years with 5,000 miles on it. Your cost on it.
John, all the strategies you're sharing, that we have put that in the folder as well, right? So
yeah, so all these questions and all this stuff that I just said, yes, I've got it on a sheet. And then again, we'll offer a free strategy call to come up with you, and I'll go through all that with you, and we'll put together a plan to help you get that stuff, put out and implemented at your dealership for sure.
Well, and just so you guys know, John, thank you so much, man. Awesome stuff. There's no doubt there's a huge honey hole and a way dealers can generate a lot of extra revenue from F&I to your service customers. And if we're bringing more service customers in with the other efforts we talked about earlier, we can make a massive impact. So there's a link I just posted in the chat. The link is also up here on my screen. Can you guys see my screen here? I'm doing a little screen share.
Yep.
But so for you viewers, everyone watching this webinar, you're going to go to this link here. You can copy it right out of the chat. Just paste that into your browser. It's going to ask you a few questions. It'll say, you know, do you want a free strategy call with any one of us? Just click the name of who you'd want a strategy call with. And then when you finish, you'll click download resources. And if you select no call, you don't have to worry, we won't reach out. But whoever you check will reach out to you within 48 hours. Anyway, you'll get to this, click this button. It'll take you right into your folder here where all the resources are in there. And guys, listen, we have talked about, I mean, we've covered every department at the dealership, right? Marketing, sales, service, F&I. We have given you guys amazing tools for free to help you. And again, it's because we care about you and we know it's all hands on deck right now. And I want to give a little Q&A before we wrap up. So we're definitely gonna do a little Q&A, but I want to show you guys one last slide, which is just this right here. Guys, there's light at the end of the tunnel, all right? We're gonna come out of the other side of this. Yes, we're gonna be dealing with the virus for a while, but guys, we're coming out of this tunnel, all right? Who's still gonna be on your team, right? How can you set yourself apart from all the other dealerships and retain your people and show them that you're the employer to be, you're the place to be. That's what this is all about. And you can stack the odds in, all right? That's the beauty of this whole thing. If you can just get people aligned around that mission, come up with the right plan and execute on it, all right, you can stack those odds in your favor. And the plan we're going to give you guys, you know, that we've given you here, give salespeople scripts, have them practice, man. It's best to do it before the showroom floor closes if it's going to close at all. Download lists from your service system. Get on like Reed was saying, get them calling those not retained, trying to set service appointments. Give service writers scripts, the ones John's sharing. Launch your Google My Business marketing strategy, what Herb Anderson talked about from Dealer Talk. You know, get your service marketing updated, what Owen Moon talked about. Get your website up to date. Review those job description changes and pay structure changes with your employees. Again, we'll have that BDC pay plan in your folder, and it can be very lucrative for the employee who wants to stay in your company and also for your dealership. Create those customized service appointment scheduling process, right? Like you're going to need that. Like, how are you going to set those appointments, right? Because maybe they don't have X time. Not every dealership has service schedulers built into their website. Begin your start. This is another pro tip. All right. This is from one of my a dealer in Florida. He's doing a Zoom meeting with his employees every morning. They're doing a workout. Every day at lunch, they're going to do a Zoom meeting and do training. And then every Friday, I'm going to give them a sales meeting. So all through Zoom. So he's going to keep his showroom floor together virtually, even though they're all being sent home. Pretty awesome stuff. Launch the sold customer connection strategy that you're going to get from Velco Academy. And then remember, guys, share and celebrate success stories and wins. When you find business, talk about what worked, why it was, and reinforce those positive things. We need positivity right now. And I'll tell you this, guys, when you have a plan, your confidence goes through the roof. You'll start taking action, and the fear subsides. It's a wonderful thing. But don't sit and wait for it to take action. All right. Or don't sit and wait, because it's bearing down on us, and it's here and it's real. And it's just time to say, you know what, let's move forward. All right. That's my last piece of advice. So let's go ahead and do a little Q&A. We've got a few questions. So first question, and panel, just raise your hand if you want to answer this. So Tom Agresti, struggling with how to schedule salespeople, issues with every other day in or working from home, especially since they're on commission. Any recommendations? I would say, go ahead, Sandy, why don't you go ahead and throw that one out there?
Well, I actually answered, and Thomas, thanks for that question. And I'm sure that there's another side to this question. Of course, I automatically think about pay plan and how we pay. You know, timekeeping, when you're sending salespeople home to work at home, timekeeping is going to be an issue, or a consideration. So you need to think about how you're going to do that, because as you might know, we don't really think about this in good times. Salespeople don't get overtime, but they are guaranteed by the law to get minimum wage for every hour worked. So if sales are down, that becomes something to consider. So timekeeping in that is going to be important. And think about your 7I exemption as well. That's commission. Sometimes we call it commission, and then there's also the 7I exemption, which has a whole other things to pay attention to. So again, I'm going to point back to, call your legal counsel. A lot of dealers have a labor attorney on retainer. It's one of my recommendations. So, or talk to your HR person, do it carefully. There's other ideas though.
And you may have technology that tracks that. I know a lot of CRMs track logins. You can consider that a clock in some states. It depends on the situation. So, you may have some tech you could do it with. And like Reed, for instance, he's got this predictive dialer, which allows, BDC agents to call 500 people in a day. Well, it tracks how long, when you log into it, how long you're on the phone waiting for a call, how many people you talk to, and it knows when you take a break and when you log out of it. It's to the second. So, there's a lot of technology out there that you may already have that you could probably use. So that's a great, Sandy. And again, if they're working from home and they're doing service work, use the BDR pay plan, put them on that service pay plan and get them paid to bring oil changes in and stuff, so awesome stuff. Sandy, thank you. Another question we have, we've already redirected all our salespeople to reach out to customers, and we've provided scripts and video examples. I'm not sure how do we handle new salespeople? So new salespeople with less of a customer base, should they work on training? Should we work on them with observational training? So what the question is, what are we doing? Okay, so this group is joining. I've got an e-selling webinar we're doing. Basically, it's the new road to the sale for 2020. So I'm providing that with a little bit of the extra time I have since I'm not traveling. I'm providing that to all the dealers that I coach as a added value. So that's something they're doing. But Tom wants to know, what can he do? What can people with new salespeople, right, who aren't that well versed? I think this would be a good one, maybe for Velco or for one of our sales trainer friends. Velco, what do you think on that, man? So you got new salespeople. What would you recommend you do with them?
I believe that new salespeople are great with interpersonal skills because they're still civilians. So they are a lot more connected with our buyers than experienced salespeople. Just like Reed suggested earlier, that it took him 5 years to stop thinking like a salesman when he sets appointments. The same thing, it takes about 90 days for salespeople to become salespeople in their mind. So during those first 90 days, they are still civilians. They're still on the other side. And I think the communication between the new salespeople and the community right now would be the best communication possible. So as a dealer, ask the new salespeople for new ideas, because they come from that consumer place. And right now we can just wipe everything we know and we can start fresh, because nobody has been through this. So those new salespeople will have some great ideas that the dealer could implement and create a paradigm shift and interrupt the pattern and be unique in the marketplace. So I wouldn't be afraid of the fact that they don't know word tracks. I would definitely use them to communicate with my clients and make sure they have proper interpersonal skills and proper communication skills, but they don't need word tracks to get some ideas and to connect with the community.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that, you know, with all of the social distancing and working from home sheltering stuff, I think there's probably an opportunity to leverage, you know, going back to the social media thing, you know, I mean, I think new salespeople, if they've got any sort of social media following, how do you start converting that into, you know, future automotive opportunities? We've got to start treating the pixels like people, right?
Educating the consumers.
Yeah. Yeah. One more question, and this is more for my marketing gurus. I'm going to throw this out there for Herb and Owen. I'd like you guys to share on this one. What do you guys think? Okay. What do you guys think about, you know, tying the marketing and marketing message? You're trying to bring customers in for service, right? What do you think is the best way to just eliminate the customer fear of, do you know what's going on? I don't want to get sick, right? Like, how do we eliminate that fear in our marketing message without creating more fear? You know, what are your thoughts on that? Any tips?
Yeah, so on my end, I would say social media is probably a good way, a good way to do it, because, for example, one of the stories that we're working on is we're doing this hands-off, hands-free service, right? So the customer fills out a form, they call the dealership, they leave the car there with the keys, and the staff goes out there, picks it up, does the service, then they sanitize the vehicle, and then they drop the car off, and the customer comes with their second set of keys and gets in the vehicle. Well, taking a video of that whole process, right? Because that's not a normal procedure within a dealership. That's not how we service vehicles typically. So taking a video of that and going to social media and putting that content out there, and then leveraging your database, right? Because database marketing right now has got to be the tippy top of what we're doing, right? Because customers are nobody's flying in to buy cars, nobody's driving distances to buy a car, right? So it's those people that you already have a relationship with, and getting that information out in video form so that they can see the process, right? If they can see the process, then they're going to be a little bit more comfortable. You know what I mean? If you're doing drop-off and pickups, make sure that customers know that. And that's why I reference, if you go to somebody's website right now and it's the same that it was before all this went down, then customers don't know. They expect the service and everything that they've experienced in the past to be the same, and the fear and all that stuff is going to kick in, and they're not going to know that there's measures in place to ensure their safety, to ensure that the dealership is taking precautions to make sure that they're handling the situation.
No doubt. Yeah, I got a text earlier while we were talking about so this customer bought 2 cars at once. Guess where he was prospected from? From the service writer in a service department. The salesperson just messaged me. So that's pretty cool stuff. You know, that's bottom line. That is a found business. We would have never done it if it wasn't for the probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for this whole situation, right? So listen, guys, I got to thank each of you. John Stubblefield, thank you for all the viewers and attendees for watching this. John Stubblefield, F&I coach for Car Motivators. Herb Anderson from Dealer Talk. Sandy Zanino from Innovative HR. Velco from Velco Academy, not Velco Sales Training. He doesn't like that. Owen Moon from Fixed Ops Digital. Reed Richards from Increase Your Leads. You guys have been amazing. I think the value we brought in this webinar could be a game changer for a lot of salespeople. We're gonna run this sucker over and over until it becomes irrelevant. So guys, for those of you that watch this, I'm gonna ask that you please comment on the post where you saw the link to sign up. For the love of God, please comment about the value gain from this. Share it. We're gonna try to we're gonna repost this and allow others. Guys, click the link in the comments. There's a link in the comments that I posted earlier. Hold on, let me repost that link again. It's for this here. So that is where you can get all those free resources. They are for you. It's a gift from my team, my friends here to you. So guys, thank you again for tuning in. This is Sean Kelley, the Carvis Coach. Remember, guys, leave a legacy of knowledge. Thank you so much. Say bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.